Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. Haven't been on for about 3 days, so I thought I would get on and stream live for a while, not very long tonight, because I don't have a lot. If I can find them, where are they? YouTube, come on. So, wait and see if anybody gets on. Why does this thing come unplugged? Look at that. Oh, come on. That fiddly-dee, Millie. From signing in. I don't know how to sign into YouTube on a different tablet. All right, well, so much for that. I'm not going to mess with it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put links down below in the description when it uploads. So if you want to see what I was going to talk about, just go, don't feel up to it. And my voice probably won't last, and neither will other parts. Hi, Ray. How you doing? God bless you, brother. Low battery. Come on, stop it. Stop it. It's plugged in. It's turbo connected. Should be charged up pretty quick. If I drop off, too, my battery's saying it's tired. Julie Price. Hey, I finally see you live. Well, hey, how are you, Julie? Where you at, Julie? What part of... And you finally saw me live. Or you've watched any of my other videos, I guess, maybe? Seen a few of them anyway. Are you familiar with kind of my message, as it were? If you haven't seen it, there's a video. It's an interview by Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness, Joe Farm Mountain. I'm pretty sure it would be, but I don't know for sure on that. On my channel, I think I titled it Ozark Plateau, Refuge. There is a safe place. So if you go to my channel and just do a search for How to Get Out of Babylon, then add to that, Ozark Plateau Refuge or Refugium. There is a safe place, or Ozark Refuge, like Pastor Joe might pull it up. Anyway, that's a good introduction to my message, and that is the Ozark Plateau is a gigantic 50,000 square mile safe haven, land of Goshen, bug out location in the middle of the United States. And it was perfectly designed at creation for this point in time, coming up here very shortly. And the Father has been bringing thousands upon thousands of people here from all over the country and all over the world for this upcoming point in time. It's a safe haven. It is the greatest place in the entire earth for biodiverse agriculture, survival agriculture, okay? Biodiverse meaning you grow about anything here. There's a guy that visits on William that is doing a lot of very interesting things in his property, and he's in Missouri or Arkansas, one of the two. I think he's in Arkansas, not positive. Anyway, there's some amazing things you can do, especially if you augment it with a greenhouse, high tunnels. It's a smaller property. You can really do a lot more growing. You have a lot more protected growing cycle, growing season, length of the season, everything. So, and I got that idea very forcefully from there's a series of books called The Ringing Cedars of Russia by Vladimir Megre, Russian group, Russian organization, operation, whatever you want to call it. Movement, worldwide movement. I mean, amazing movement. But the Russian government gives families dasha, a D-A-C-H-A, a dasha. The word dasha in Russian is the word for farm, and it means to give. Farm in America means to take, to steal, to tax. We tax people in their land. Russia gives people land, gives it to the family, does not ever charge them for it. They don't ever have to pay taxes on it. They don't have to pay taxes on the food that they grow on it. So when the Russian economy crashed, supposedly about 80% of the food grown in Russia was grown on family dashas or farms. And they didn't have food lines. They didn't have riots. They didn't have, people killing people for food. Everybody got together and they did farmer exchanges and they just traded their goods. I got 5,000 pounds of turnips. What do you got? I got 5,000 pounds of radishes. Well, let's trade, corn, potatoes, leeks, garlic, onions, the whole 9 yards. They traded. Nobody was hungry. So I don't know. That's a story. So I like it. But anyway, the idea of a wall of trees around a small property, like a hectare, a dacha is 2.5 acres, 2.5 acres. That's 1/4 of a 10-acre farm here in Missouri. You got 10 acres divided, make 4 little dachas out of plant trees. So you have trees on all those 4 borders of those little square property, little 2.5 acre squares, and you have a protected area and a symbiotic interaction of plants. And if you have farmer trees there, the farmer trees are trees that grow and protect things around them. Big oaks, spreading oaks, those are good farmer trees. Plant a build a hugel culture around the drip edge, around the water would drip off that thing, and you have a little mini symbiotic survival agricultural system there. You can go 95 species of fruit, nuts, plants, berries, root crops, etc., etc. So, anyway, yeah. Jack, how you doing? Hi, phone has been delivered. No more. It saw a dock, so good to see you. Hey, great, Jack. That's awesome. We spoke a couple of years ago on My Brand channel. My Brand, is that the name of your channel? Salem. Hi, Jack. Awesome. Oregon or Missouri? Or Arkansas, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, just curious. Kind of nice to know, have an idea that. So we spoke on your channel. I'll look. If we emailed, I might be able to go back and pull up emails and refresh myself. Missouri, yeah. Hi. You know, you got a little property there. You and your family. That's good. Like Ray is on here too, and he's got a property. He's working on building up. And Jack's on here, and she's got, well, I understand, but I'll talk to her probably a little bit later or tomorrow. So, yeah, so a friend sent me, I'll put the link here in the description when I get done off here. I've been figured out how I can do it from YouTube Studio, and I can do it right away. So I'll do it when I get off here. But the idea of earth changes, you know, are there going to be earth changes? Well, I think we're seeing a lot of earth changes right now. There's a lot of really weird things going on. Volcanoes are on the uptick. You know, a lot of earthquakes are on the uptick. Some of that's man-caused by fracking, especially here in the United States. You know, pumping filthy, dirty aquifer, destroying dirty water down in there to push the oil to the top so they can drill, you know, get oil out. Very disgusting way to do it, but they've destroyed a lot of drinking water doing that. Anyway, they've been fracking on the edge of the craton. The edge of the craton is the Rockies to the Appalachians, but down in through Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, that craton runs, the edge of it runs through Texas, down through Colorado, New Mexico, across Texas, and into Arkansas. Arkansas, it's running just, the craton edge is, if you look at I-40, Highway 40, just south of the Ozark Plateau, and right along the Arkansas River Valley, that is the southern edge of the craton. So it goes right in between Dallas and Fort Worth. And they've been fracking a lot on that craton edge. I wrote an article called Fracking on the Dotted Craton Line. You know, so if they frack on it enough, wherever they frack, there's usually an earthquake. And of course, they don't admit that. No, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, it's true. Dutch Sims has proven it like 5,000 times. He said if I had a dot on every earthquake that I verified was from fracking, he said you wouldn't be able to see anything else on the map. It would all be covered dots. So a lot of times earthquakes are at old volcano sites, dormant volcanoes, extinct volcanoes. Yeah, right. Why are they having earthquakes there? So the Continental Divide, running right down the middle of the Rockies, is the edge of the craton. That's why the Rockies are there. That's why the Appalachians are there. Funny how the eastern edge is the Appalachians, the western edge is the Rockies. You got a line going right up the middle of both of those watersheds, but that's where that's the edge of the craton. How did those mountains come to exist? Well, probably because the tectonic plates slammed into the craton. The craton's thicker, it's tougher, it's older, it's harder, it's deeper. It's 120 miles deep, where the rest of the crust is only about 60 miles deep. And they slammed into it, and poof, you got mountains, instant mountains. over a period. Maybe it was 100 years. I don't know. Maybe it was a day or two. I'm sure the after effects went on for a long time, but we don't know how far back that was. But that's when it happened. No question. You can see that very clearly. It's not even an issue in my mind. So we've seen earth changes in the past. Things happening. Volcanoes. Very in our memorable past, a volcano went off in the Ozark. Came from New England states because it was winter all year long. They never got any. They never did not have a growing season, so they fled to New England states. Came to the Ozarks. So anyway, I'm just looking at that, and a friend of mine sent me a map of where what America would look like as ocean levels rise, and it's very interesting. I'll put the link down there. You can look it up by looking for USA ocean level rise map, something like that. They have 0 to 44,000 meters, which is ridiculous. Ocean levels can never rise that high unless God just absolutely flooded it from outside the firmament, dumped the waters above the firmament into the earth. But I don't think that's going to happen because he said he wouldn't do it again. It doesn't mean those levels can't rise. He can do that pretty easily. Just open some windows and open some floodgates, and poof, you got instant higher ground. So yeah, the question is, what would it look like? And it's interesting. At about, I think it's about 300 meters, virtually an island. And at one point, they have it as being completely surrounded by water and island, but I think that's not even in the realm of being realistic. Just some there, and something I wouldn't. I've had this reinforced from so many different directions that I do not have any doubt that it's going to happen to some degree. I don't know how high, how deep. 80 meters would be likely, I think. I'm not talking global warming, any crap like that. Just that's totally irrelevant to the whole thing. But it could happen nonetheless. There's all kinds of things that could make it happen. God controls the entire world, and he invented it. He created it. It was his idea, and he can do whatever he wants with it. So, but one thing that was just odd in my life, I mentioned to this friend of mine. I remember one time we were going to go to a monthly fellowship, and a lot of things have happened about this monthly fellowship. Very weird things, and I'll come into one here in a minute in regard to this ocean level rise idea. So my family was in the van. This van was given by a couple, for my Ozark Plateau ministry. Everybody's in the van. I had to go inside for something. I don't remember what it was. I was coming out, and I remember my right foot was up in the air, literally, and I hear it look down. And right where I would have stepped was a diamond-shaped rock. Ozark Plateau-shaped rock. And it was set in it'd been there. It was our walkway. It was our sidewalk, basically. It had been there for 10 years or better at that point in time. And I'd walked on it 1,000 times. Everybody walked on it and never even noticed it. My foot was up in the air, like about at the top, as high as I would raise it, and then I heard look down. I looked down right there, and my foot was going to step on that stone. That was pretty weird. And then I started seeing them over and over again, Ozark Plateau shaped stones. And then I started noticing that all the ones were very steep on the southern edge. In other words, a lot of them were oriented such that the rounded off part where St. Louis was kind of rounded off from erosion from the Mississippi and the Missouri rivers. So I believe at one point in time, I still seen maps like this on Weather Channel or something, where they're brilliant green, just exact footprint of a diamond. But so that on the eastern edge rounded off. On the southern part, the southern edge was a very steep, very thick compared to the rest of it. That was really weird. I'd see it over and over and over again, just repeatedly. I'd see that. So one time, I was telling a sister about that. She goes, "Well, why do you think that is?" And I said, "I don't know. Don't have any idea." Well, that night, I went to sleep that night, and that morning I woke up and I was like, "Father, why is the southern edge always so steep and abrupt and thick?" And what came to my mind immediately was because of the pounding of the ocean waves. I'm like, oh, okay. And I think it could rise up because of that, could actually be pistoned up, however you want to call it. And I've seen that in my head, and I've other people have seen in their mind just a rising, uplifting of the whole entire Ozark outside the firmament. So it could be connected to somehow or another. It could just water pressure, bam. A lot of caves blow open, a lot of caves open up, and as they recede, the waters recede, then you would have all underground caves with water sources, and so I know there's a lot of weird things that could happen. I believe there could be earth changes like that. So I don't know, it's just my thoughts on it. So I'm gonna check the comments here, and then I'm gonna probably close it down. So we got at least one new visitor here, Julie Price. Hi, Julie again. Gadianton, what's up? How are you, Gadianton? You little character, you. Shasta Volcano has been more and more active. 23 years ago, we were evacuated due to releasing gases to let out pressure. Where is Shasta Volcano, Julie? Is that near you? There's a future map of the United States that has two volcanoes listed on it. One's on the east of Mississippi and one's on the western edge of the Mississippi River Valley. It's a possible volcanic activity or something like that. I don't know. Deborah Perry, hello. How are you doing? Zepton Kaboon, hello there. We got everybody. Welcome Julie Price from Missouri. I think she said Salem area. Deborah's down in Arkansas. Hot Springs. Yeah. I'm sick from cancer. My husband can't walk, so right now we are not able to live off the land the way we would wish to. Oh my word! Wow. Shasta Volcano. Anybody know where that is? Possibly near Salem, Missouri. You're talking Mount Shasta in Washington, D.C. I wonder. Anyway, yeah. And Julie, did you guys move here recently from other states, or have you lived here most of your life or part of your life? So, yeah, and there's a guy, Nick, is his name Ortner? I'm not sure. Nick at night, just look at Nick, the forensic geologist, I call him. He is phenomenal, but I watched a fascinating study on him from Mount Whitney in Washington. Yeah. Not Seattle. One of the seacoast cities. Mount Rainier. Yeah, Mount Rainier, okay. Um, anyway, I could see it. It's right down to my tongue, sorry. One of the seacoast cities is very level, and there's a plane come up to us very level. Well, this guy eventually figured out, and this guy had a clue from other people, but then what happened was that volcano went off about 5,000 years ago, something like that, and it flowed like 300 feet deep in mud because of the glaciers, all the snow on it, what do you call it, the glaciers on it, everything melted instantaneously, and you had this wall of mud like 300 feet deep coming out, completely level, water seeks its own level, and even it's still level to this day, even though it's on the globe, there's got 100 miles of flat. Isn't that amazing? That water, even mud seeks its own level. So this perfectly level plain coming out to whatever city it is, Tacoma. I think it's Tacoma. Maybe that's it. Okay, but one of the seacoast cities is, as I recall, south and west, obviously west of Mount Rainier, which blew up as a volcano, and it's getting very unstable now. It could blow, and if it blows now, it's going to blow to the west because it's like that. What do you call it? Soil up there is liquefied. It's like very bizarre. And I've seen a lot of times, like a lot of places like that around the world, when you see entire forests of trees flowing downhill, something weird's going on. So there's some major earth changes right there. Look up the two preachers guys. They do a lot of stuff on that, covering events around the world that are very bizarre, and that's one. I mean, you see like upright tree, 300 feet of trees flowing downhill at the same time, at the same speed. That's weird. So, yeah, very bizarre. So yeah, we could say volcano. I don't know what the name of the one was, but it caused, like I said, earlier I mentioned it caused a year with no spring and no fall, no summer at all, no growing season period worldwide. So this one that just went off over there somewhere. Can't remember the name of it, but one of them went off. But, okay, 10 people. Wow, that's a record. What's up? Maybe pipe in where Shasta volcano is she's talking about. Oh, Julie, sick from cancer. Wow. Well, pray, Julie, that you have you're blessed with some kind of specific direction as to what you can do with your land, and whether you want to, if you thought about selling it, or having somebody else work it with you or help you with it, or if there's any possibilities there. A lot of people moving into the area. I know a friend down there by Dogwood, Missouri. He said that there's like 40 people a month moving into his area right there. It's amazing. So, and people are helping each other. I mean, these two guys come over just volunteer. They move from some other state, and they just come over and help him build his house. He's building a 3,000 square foot house. He and his sons are envisioned us being about a decade ago. People helping other people build homes. And I've realized over the years that that's what's got to happen. So it has to happen. People have to help other people build, so we can live debt free. No mortgage, no death. Somebody said the other day, I was just saying, calling it a pledge, but no death. Mort is mortuary, mortician, Mortimer. Mort is death, mortuary, morgue, gauge, death measure, or something like that. Okay, so anyway, be that as it may. Last and rock all the way here when it went off. No, I don't know. A typo, Julie. Lassen through rock, or is that Shasta rock all the way here? Are you talking about Mount Shasta has been losing its glaciers for about 5 years. It is supposed to be as powerful as Yosemite. It's much larger than Lassen. Okay, so I assume Lassen. You're throwing two names out there. Shasta. I'm not positive where that's at. And Lassen. I don't know where that's at. Been here 13 years. Okay. Northern County. Okay, yeah. Now I remember. Okay, thank you. Zapton Kaboom. Thank you. Good job. Okay. So Mount Shasta blew off. Where's Lassen then? Yeah, they're very powerful. It could quite a change in the world. Especially a whole bunch of them go off. Can you imagine that? Now, one interesting thing about the craton, I want to go back to that because it comes into play here. You mentioned Yosemite. See, west of the Rockies is very thin crust, very shallow crust, very weak crust, very brittle crust. It can go crack and slide very easily. So this map that this guy sent me a video of today, about future maps of the United States, ocean levels rising, 0 to about 350 meters, would give you about an Ozark Plateau being an island. Here's my point: is that the craton goes right through Yellowstone, and that's like the western edge of the craton. Guess where the eastern edge of the craton goes through? Iceland. I'm not kidding you not. Greenland is on the craton. It cannot sink. It's less dense than the Earth's mantle. It's on the craton. The biggest rock on Earth, the largest rock on Earth. I used to say planet Earth, but I don't believe in a planet anymore, so I don't believe in ETs either. I believe in Nephilim and spiritual warfare. But Iceland is on the eastern edge of the craton, like it's right on the edge of the craton, which means that's why there's so many fissures and so many venting. You have to have a degree in. You have to like go to college and some university to study volcanoes in Iceland. There's like 40 different fissures to 40 different volcano seams, and there's things you got to know which vent it goes down, which vent blowhole, which this is, which part of which system this is part of, which system this is. But Yellowstone's a little bit different. This is one big giant ass volcano. But west of the Rockies, there's hundreds of volcanoes, many, many. A lot of them are dormant, supposedly. Yeah, whatever. Let me know how it works out for you. I just don't think it's a good idea as a preparedness type minded person or a survivalist to go sit on top of a volcano or an area that you know is of volcanoes. Some guy wrote me from British Columbia, and I said, "Do you realize that there's about 40 volcanoes in your province?" He goes, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Well, have you ever heard of Turtle Mountain?" He goes, "Yeah, a lot of people are moving to Turtle Mountain." I said, "Well, you might want to consider that." Turtle Mountain is half in Canada, half in North Dakota, and it's like a artificially built plateau. Let me say that again: an artificially built plateau that was originally about 1,500 feet off the plains, surrounding plains. And what do you mean artificial? Well, somebody built it. It's very clear. It was geologically and geographically centered. It was in the center of the North American continent. Everything from that would go downhill. Everything went away from it. There are no rivers near it. Every river started, the headwaters of that river were somewhere around Turtle Mountain. But there were no rivers running by it. No, it could not flood. Is the point. So anyway, the point being is that there's one in America, one in China, at Urumqi, China, one in the middle of Australia, and one in the middle of Africa. And some of them were like 200 miles wide. Turtle Mountain's about 50 miles wide, so it's pretty large, but not as big as 200. I think the one in Africa is 200 miles. They were exactly like one third of a pie, one third, 333, 333 part of a whole, 120 degrees part of 360 degrees, one third of 360 degrees. What's outside of 333? 666, judgment. So very interesting. Not going to go any more of that now because my throat ain't going to stand up for it. But anyway, very fascinating. So, yeah, Craton is going to come into play. I'm telling you, I just see this over and over again. Recommend not to be in debt. Yeah. Well, it says we will not be in debt. You will not. That's we're not supposed to charge interest to brethren. Okay, there we go. Some more. Shasta and Lassen are next to each other in Northern California, surrounding Redding. Very important to watch due to their size. Wow. One sister that gets on here once in a while, Zimbabwe Zach, is, I think, by Redding, California. I'm not positive. But I'm not. Anyway, interesting. Thank you for that bit of information. Yes. Very good. Is getting ready to blow, I think. It seems like the soil's getting liquefied, shaking, and they say that's what happened with the around the New Madrid. With the soil liquefies, it just becomes like quicksand, just mud. You just sink right into it, gone. So they're getting like that. When the volcano gets getting like very unstable there, and the whole side could just be gone, blow out. It says if it blows this time, the soft part, the questionable part, is toward the Pacific Ocean instead of away from it. The last time it blew, it kind of shot to the east, south, and east, and then all the mud, the 3 feet of mud, flowed around and out to the Pacific down the river valley basin. So very interesting. I think it's Tacoma, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, my voice is going, guys, so I appreciate your time, and I just wanted, like I said, I hadn't been on for 3 or 4 days, and decided to get on and mention a few things. One theory of the plateau, that's a huge tree stump from well, not this plateau. There are no tree stumps that big. I don't think anybody would say that. I know what you're saying. Some plateaus look like that, and I've heard that statement before. I don't know. Some of them, there is some little bit of sense to that, but I think people just take something they run with it, and I think the enemy says, "Let me see if I can get somebody else to believe this." I'm not saying that's one of them, but you know, they go overboard with it. Mud flood was Armageddon. That guy, it's just a cult, no question. Alan, whatever his name is, very, very bizarre. Maybe some good ideas. I'm not saying that. And it gets kind of weird. So, um, yeah, I'm just nothing we can do about any of this, other than pray and be wise. Be wise and be prepared as best we can. Like Julie, I feel for you, sister. Cancer and your husband can't walk. Wow. Was this a vision you had from many years ago to have a homestead? And did you do anything with it, or you'd have anything there? I was just kind of curious, just pray that something can happen, because that you can bless other people, because we're not here for ourselves. We're here to help. That's the way I look at it. I'm here to help build the kingdom of God. It's been my lifelong prayer since I became a believer to be used in the building up of His kingdom, and that's what I want to do. And it doesn't mean, doesn't. It means that we have to be unselfish. It means we have to, be concerned for other people, not just ourselves. So I don't think it's just a fact. In fact, I'm trying to make as much money as we can and have a safe place for me and my family. It's a lot bigger than much bigger than that. I'm looking at a circle. That's a big circle. So that's kind of where I'm at. But anyway, always when you can hear that kind of cracking. We got any questions or anything? Spit them out right now. We're gonna say good night here. When you say last on Three Rock all the way here, all the way to Missouri. Interesting. That brings up one thing. Property that a friend lived on for quite a few years over by a place called Silver Creek had so many geodes on it that he just said, "Yeah, pick up all you want." There's all over the place. There, like something splattered and landed there, or something. It was like a meteorite hit there. I don't know. It was just, well, you looked at them, you knew it was a geode, and you cut them in half. There's a crystalline structure inside, like a cocoon and egg thing. Very bizarre. Just that one property there, just all over the place. Just very weird. So, anyway, okay. You say I had to give it up recently. I guess I assume you meant your farm, and I absolutely feel for you, sister. That is so. Yeah, and I believe, Father, friends I'm staying with here now, Bill and Shirley, they homesteaded in Arkansas twice, Alaska twice, once, Colorado once, Arkansas twice, now in Missouri. But they knew somebody that some old man bought a property, said God told me to come here and raise food. So they're raising food. Never able. Well, they're too poor. They never were able to drill a well. So they hauled water the whole time they're there. Grew a huge garden. I mean, just, and the guy died without ever knowing why he was there. He just was there raising food and doing what he was told. God told me to move here and garden, so he did. So that's happened so many times. Like I said, over and over again. I just want to say that again, that there are hundreds and thousands, probably millions of people here in the Ozark Plateau that have been sent here by God, by Father, to grow food for people, to, provide shelter and food and healing, houses of healing. I want to have I've heard that about 5 times. I want to have a house of this. I was envisioning this to be a house of healing, houses of healing, and growing food. Yeah, Ed and Jen, if you never show up again, you need to get in touch with me. Ray is down there very near you, and you can maybe convoy up together if you'll get with me or him. So I haven't seen you on here since for about a week now. So hopefully you guys will get in touch with me. And I also have another woman here just called me today, and she has a 12 by 28 mini cabin that she was making payments on, and she got hired at her old job and got a house, and just has to let it go. She's not making any more payments on it, so Either somebody can take over the payments or work something up, work something out. Her, I think it's a 12 by 28, if I'm not mistaken, double loft. I don't know how much she's done on it. I don't know how much she owes on it. Nothing. So just if anybody's interested in that, let me know. Be a good, it'd be a situation where maybe somebody could just take over payments and be bless her and get her out from under it, and bless you and saving a little bit of money on it because she's been paying on it for a couple of years, I believe. So just one of those situations that somebody might be able to help her and be helped in the same time. So she's got to get the rest of her things out of it and then get it out of there. So all right, well, let's say goodnight then. It'll be a short one tonight. I wasn't really ready for this. I got on a little bit late and not quite. And I wanted to have my tablets up so I could show you some of the stuff I was looking at, but I'll link it here as soon as I can. Put it in the description. So just come back tomorrow and check it out. I have a couple of videos here listed. Okay? All right. I'm going to go back through and say goodnight to everybody. I like to start at the top and just say goodnight. Ray, how you doing? Good night. Julie, good talking with you tonight. Really. Salem, yeah. Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Salem means peace. And you said we spoke a couple years ago on my brand channel. Not sure. Jack says her phone's been delivered. Oh, delivered from demon possession. No more C19 that's on dock, so good to see. I don't know what that meant. Somebody worked on it for you, did operation on it, and took out its kidneys. I've been finding rent-to-own land plots on Facebook for $100 a month. Rent-to-own land. Yeah. I'm wondering if people start sharecropping again, There's a vision to grow food, comes in here, and they just hook up with the landowner and are able to work something out with them too. I'm thinking about doing that with Bill here, Hey, look, if you don't like any of my ideas, you don't want to, listen to me, then let me do it, Let me get some people getting here and start working on some land and making some money. I was about ready to say goodnight, Zap and Kaboom. Good night, Deborah Perry, if you're still on. God bless. Julie, so wonderful hearing from you. You've got a good bunch of information there, giving us some good things to think about. And interesting facts there. I want everybody to be praying for Julie for guidance and anything she can do with her land, that's the place that she's got. I want to make a point here. Julie says we're commanded not to be in debt. Well, it says we won't be in debt, the way I read it, but true, we should not be in debt. It's stupid to be in debt. And if we would build our own homes, we wouldn't have to be. If we just settled for a little bit smaller home, pay it off. We bought a farm, a 10-acre farm, and paid it off in less than 1 year. Okay, it was 20 years ago, granted, almost 20 years ago. But we did that. We bought it. It was about 20. It was appraised at $20,000 because the house had been around by the people that lived there. The guy tore the front off, was using it as a garage. The land sold with the mobile home on it, but when they left, they stole the mobile home and took it with them. They destroyed something that they messed up the well. They had to put a new pressure tank in. So we bought it for $20,000, paid it off in less than 1 year because three of us were working. My wife, my son, and I were all three working. I'd pay the bills every month and run down to the bank with every bit of money we could put it on the land, and we paid it off in less than 1 year. Very cool. So, it can be done. It can be done. So, all right. So anyway, God bless everybody. you're going to head here, but my husband got sick and I lost everything. Oh, 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 oh Lord. Yeah, Julie says God sent me here. Yeah, He's been sending people here, but I pray for wisdom and seeing what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm believing and hoping that this Passover is going to be exodus for a lot of people, and some major things are going to happen and change. I mean, people want to have community, but everybody's all just off by themselves. And how can we see that happen? We need to be able to get together and actually help each other. So I'm totally incapable of doing anything right now. I'm living in a trailer that my son got from built a cabin for somebody and they gave it to him, so he gave it to me. Supposedly gave it to me. I think he still considers that he still owns it, and I'm just living in his trailer. And I bought a mobile home. I paid for a mobile home in cash, silver actually, but I'm not living in that yet. It's not fixed up yet. So I don't know. So many things could happen, should happen, but I don't see them happening. So let's just keep praying together. Agreeing, Julie and I can at least pray for each other, and you know, Jack, pray for Jack. She's in a bad situation on Meth Mountain over there by Festus, Missouri, surrounded by Satanists and low-life and scumbags and drug dealers and stuff. So people are wanting to come here. I'm hoping some people do, and we can work together and build some things. So start growing some food, serious like. All right, well, I'm gonna let everybody go. Good night. My voice is going. Hallelujah. All right, I'm gonna say hang it up.